Hey guys, we're going to look through an example from the packet. This one is from the limits packet. So this is the limits assignment. We are on page 1 right now. We're looking at one-sided limits. So this is the one-sided limits activity. You should have already looked at the video and gotten a rough idea of what limits are, one-sided limits are. We're going to be looking at the activity portion of it, and I'm going to be showing you guys an example. So let's look at the example problem. So the directions say the first thing we're going to do is write down the question. So that's the first thing we're going to be doing. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to give a rough sketch of the graph. So that's the second thing we're going to be doing. And the third thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to answer each question. So we're going to give the answer. So I have opened up here on the left-hand side, the actual Khan Academy activity. So it says here the function f is graphed below. So this function right here, the blue line, represents the function f. And we're going to be solving this one. This one's a little bit trickier than ones before. I'm going to write out the question in both formats. You only need to write it out in the one that's given to you, but I'm going to explain what this actually means. So it says right here, what is the value of the one-sided limit? The limit as x approaches 8 from the left, f of x equals this. So right here, the questions are either going to be formatted like this question right here, what is the limiting value of f of x as x approaches something from the something? Or it's going to be formatted like the one that we see right here. What is the value of the following one-sided limit? The limit. So this is how this question is formatted. So it's the limit of f of x, the limit of f of x as x approaches 8 from the left. So this is the question that we're going to be looking at. So this is number 1, our question. Write down the question. I'm going to write out in words what this actually means. So this, if we were looking at it written out in this form, this would say what is the limiting value of f of x as x approaches 8. So this is our number 8 from this sign right here, the sign that is directly, that is to the right, in the upper right portion of the number. This determines if we're looking at the limit from the right-hand side or from the left-hand side. Since there's a negative right here, this means we're going to be looking at the left-hand side. So this is as x approaches 8 from the left. You don't have to write this one. This one you don't have to write. This one you do have to write though, in this box right here. So in this box, if we had this question, you would write out what is the value of the one-sided limit, the limit of f of x as x approaches 8 from the left. This portion right here. So you would write this whole statement on these lines. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to give a rough sketch. So we're going to look at this graph right here and we're going to try to replicate it the best we can onto our paper. So it's not going to be perfect, but it just as a rough sketch. The most important portion that we do want to look at is at 8. 8 is going to be the most crucial point at x equals 8. So the other stuff, it doesn't really matter too much. There's an asymptote. Let's write down our asymptotes first. So our asymptotes, here's a vertical asymptote. There is a line that goes, so it goes through 6, kind of looks like this, kind of goes down between 3 and 4 right here, and it goes down to negative infinity. So it looks something like that. This one right here, so at 8, we have an open circle at 8, 3. So we have an open circle at 8, 3. And then this function goes upwards towards positive infinity. And then we also have an open circle at 8, comma 1. And this one is a straight line that's going to go out in this direction. So this is our rough sketch. They look very similar. Now we're going to give, so this was our second thing that we did, the rough sketch. The third thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually find the answer to this limit. So we're going to evaluate this limit. So it says as x approaches 8 from the left. So we're going to go to x equals 8. So here's our x-axis. Now we're going to go to 8. And we're going to be looking on the left-hand side. So here's the left-hand side. So this is the right-hand side. If we were looking at x approaching 8 from the right, we would be looking at this line right here, this value. But we're looking at x equals 8 from the left. So this is from the left. And as x gets closer and closer to 8, it gets closer and closer to the y value, which is 3. So we're going to say the limit as x approaches 8 from the left of f of x equals 3. And in the Khan Academy activity, when we plug in 3, when we check our answer, it should be the correct answer. So once you do that, you're just going to click on so correct, next question, and then it'll give you another question. And you'll fill out all of these boxes right here. Go back over here. So you'll fill out all of these boxes. It lets you go on to the next activity after you get 3 of them correct. If you get 1 of them incorrect, it'll start the process all over again until you get 3 in a row correct. But if you get 3 in a row correct because you're just a rock star, go ahead and then just click on this activity. So in the left-hand side, there should be the one-sided limits to the graphs. So if you're a rock star and you get all of them correct, and it tells you congratulations, you can move on, just go ahead and click on it again and it'll bring you another set of questions. So just work through all of them. So there are 8 problems here. Work through all 8 before moving on to the next one, which is two-sided limits. All right, hope that helps. Bye.